Tamer Chamma back once again, this time with quarterback start sets for Week 7. And the first start I have for you this week is Matt Cassel. He's going to be going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home this upcoming weekend. And Cassel's coming off a good Week 6, and I think he's ready to have his second consecutive good week. Even though he struggled for most of this season, he has another favorable matchup this week, and that's the Jaguars' pass defense. Along with the Houston Texans, the Jaguars lead the NFL in passing touchdowns allowed. They've allowed 14 touchdowns through the air so far this season, a really high number for Week 7 of the NFL season. So, the Jaguar defense is definitely going to allow Cassel to have some success through the air. I see Cassel getting a couple of touchdowns through the air in this game. He should be able to rack up some decent yardage totals as well. He makes for a nice fill-in for a Peyton Manning or a Matt Schaub. Both of those guys are on bye this week. And he's also a good deep league option or a good two-quarterback league option in general. So definitely consider getting Matt Cassel into your lineup for this week. Just jumped ahead a little bit there, but my second start is Josh Freeman. He's going to be going up against the St. Louis Rams at home. And Freeman's a nice start at this point for a couple of reasons. First of all, he's played pretty well this season. And also, his run game, the run game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is so bad at this point that they really need to utilize Freeman as much as they can. He's their best weapon, not only throwing the ball, but he might be their best weapon on the ground as well. So look for him to be heavily involved in the Tampa offense this week, and that should be good news for his owners because he's going up against a pass defense that's been pretty good this year, but the team overall has struggled on the road, and in their last start on the road, the Rams' pass defense really struggled against a below-average quarterback, you'd have to say, in Shaun Hill. Hill in that game had 227 yards passing, threw for 3 touchdowns, and didn't throw an interception. I think those are types of numbers that Josh Freeman can put up in this game because I think he's a little bit better than Shaun Hill at this point, despite being young and still inexperienced at the quarterback position. So Freeman, like a Matt Cassel, is a good fill-in for a Manning, good fill-in for a Schaub, and also a good deep league, two-quarterback league option for Week 7. The one and only sit I have for you this week is Chad Henne. He's going to be going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers at home. And Henne has played pretty well this season. He's been a little bit up and down, but he's definitely been a guy to be able to get you multiple touchdowns and rack up some good yardage totals. But I think he's going to struggle in Week 7. When you look at the Steelers' pass defense, they actually do give up some yards through the air, but they've been very stingy allowing touchdowns, and they've been able to really be ball hawks in getting interceptions. They've only allowed 3 touchdowns through the air this season, and they've picked off 8 passes. And Chad Henne is a guy that definitely is mistake-prone. He'll throw you some interceptions. So I think he might break 200 yards this week, but he has a better chance of throwing 2 interceptions than he does of throwing a touchdown pass, and that's just something you can't rely on when you're starting a fantasy quarterback. You need to know that he's going to at least be able to be even in the touchdown interception categories. So look to sit Chad Henne really across all leagues this week unless you're really desperate. For more fantasy football advice, check out our exclusive Edge package, now available at a reduced regular season rate. If you want your advice on RotoExperts to be up to the minute and when you want it, check out our email advice and live advice features, of course, on RotoExperts.com. Until next week, everybody have a great fantasy football weekend, and we'll talk to you next week with more start sets.